Welcome to Studio 5. We have so much to share today. We've got to sit down with Kathie Lee Gifford. The creators of Soul are taking us inside the making of the Disney Pixar film. And we're still sharing some great holiday music, this time from Brandon Camphor and One Way. We want to begin, though, with a dear friend of Studio 5, Kathie Lee Gifford, who tells us she will never retire. She plans to refire. The multi-Emmy Award-winning talk show host, singer, and songwriter tells Studio 5 she still has lots of work to do. But this week, she's taking a rare look back at her life and taking us inside the pages of her new memoir.
It's my last day. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give every single one of you
It's been almost 2 years since Kathie Lee Gifford walked away from her co-host spot on NBC's Today Show. And she's been even busier.
All right, that's pretty darn gorgeous.
Directing her first film.
Once again, make me catch my breath.
Singing again. And writing another best-selling children's book.
I'm in a new place at the age of 67 that I never would have dreamed I would be. I've got #1 hit records. I get my movie that just came out went to #1 in America.
How long are you going to sit there while I get eaten up? They're not even biting you.
#1, and Kathie Lee's first time writing, producing, and starring in a romantic comedy.
At this stage of my life, when I should be getting my senior discount to go see movies, I'm writing them, baby. You gotta laugh.
This busy widowed mother of 2 laughs a lot.
Kathie, you need 4 points.
That's it?
That's it.
I will go down as the dumbest person ever.
And she's enjoyed a decades-long career, making millions laugh right along with her. Some of the untold stories behind that success are in the pages of her new memoir. The book is Never Too Late. Make your next act your best act. From someone like yourself who's had so many acts, what did you want your readers to take away from this book?
It was a hard book to write for a lot of different reasons. It's speaking to people's hearts about their fears and about God's faithfulness in every season of our lives. I just asked the Lord to, use me. Help me to remember things, Lord, things I've never said before. Give me boldness, but at the same time, tenderness towards people. But I wasn't going to write a how-to book either. I'm not an expert at anything. All I know is that God is faithful. Trust him again. There's my book. I threw in a lot of these stories that I've never had a chance to tell. And as you know, because thank you for reading it, by the way, it's a who's who. It just is. But I'm not doing that to in any way, like, look at my life. No, that is my life.
Those who's who stories include Paul Newman, Audrey Hepburn, Billy Graham, and more. So here you sit at 67. We see God wow you again and again in the pages of this book. I'm thinking of you and Sting in the stairwell, Al Pacino in your backyard, story after story. Does God continue to wow you now?
More so. I was one of those kids that just thought early in life, the world is mine because God says so.
Your life is incredible, but there's certainly been some really down times as well and some difficult times for you to share. What was the hardest story to relive in the pages of this book?
Anytime I relive my parents' first, beginnings, it just breaks my heart all over again for them. I dedicate my book to them, just reliving how hard their lives were before, first of all, before they found each other. And second of all, before they knew the Lord. And it breaks my heart for them. And I miss it. It just reminds me of how much I miss them.
One of my favorite lines in the book is a simple one. You say, it's never too late to leave a good thing. What's the lesson there? Because as you're sharing that story, you're leaving live with Regis and Kathie Lee, and many people are surprised that you would leave at that time.
And then I left again with Hoda at the height of the success. Each time I left at the height of my success with those shows. But every good and perfect gift comes from above, from God. So when that same Father says, I'm moving you into a spacious place, or I'm moving you on, Kathie, to a new chapter of your life, I've just learned to listen to his voice. And I don't say, but Lord, we're #1. But Lord, If I truly hear his voice clearly, and when I'm truly listening to him and seeking him, I do. And here's the thing I try to share with people, Ephraim, in this book. God doesn't just do this for me. I'm more special than any other child of God, or even the people that don't even realize that they're children of God. God loves them too, wants them to know that he loves them. It's just that I trust him.
You begin each chapter of the story with lyrics to some of the songs you've written. I love them all. But is there a favorite song? I'm trying to get you to share one.
I recorded a song called I Wanna Matter a long, long time ago. And I ended the book with this thought, though I'm fragile and foolish and flawed, I'm sincere. I want someone to fondly remember me here. More than being praised, more than being flattered, I need to know without a doubt that somehow I have mattered. And if I'm really honest, I would like to write one song that someone will be singing long after I am gone.
And we all want to live a life that matters. Never too late. Make your next act of life your best act of life is available right now wherever you purchase your books. Still ahead.
It's like he's singing. I did it! I got the gig!
Critics are calling it the best movie of 2020.
Trying to stop her and tell her that she's ready to live.
Okay.
No, stop, I have something to tell you.
22?
Its creators take us inside the making of Disney Pixar's Soul.
It's a pleasure. Wow, this is amazing.
Joe is Ray Gardner's son.
So, we're down to middle school band teachers now.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep as the world watches from the outside.
It's a big diplomatic tug-of-war here in the Middle East.
Go inside the story with Jerusalem Dateline.
Israeli archaeologists are talking about a discovery that could change the thinking about the Temple Mount.
Join CBN Jerusalem Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell and get the biblical perspective on the events shaping the world.
It's what starts in Israel, then ends up going to other places.
Watch Jerusalem Dateline, Friday night at 9:30 on the CBN News Channel.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
And welcome back to Studio 5. Disney Pixar delivers a sweet Christmas gift this holiday season. We've shared a first look at the film Soul, but this week we're sharing our conversation with the film's creators.
What's your name, honey?
I'm Joe. I teach middle school band. Kathie, go for it! Today started out as the best day of my life.
Back here tonight, first show's at 7.
What was the spark for this story?
That's good.
I did it! I got the gig! What the?
We all seem to come into this world, my kids anyway, they already had a sense of personality. You know, obviously they develop a lot, but there were the essence of kind of who they are and questioning where did that come from? And that's really what started the whole thing.
Music is my reason for living.
How do you you feel about the timing of the release. Naturally released at a different time than you imagine in a different world, but for it to be sort of a gift on Christmas?
Yeah, it's not what we planned for, but I do feel like the fates have conspired to make it feel pretty appropriate, really.
I'm sure your life was amazing, but Earth sounds dumb. I'm comfortable up here. I have my routine. I float in mist. I do my Sudoku puzzles.
Another sweet part of the film I'd just like to get your thoughts on is it features largely an African-American cast.
You look marvelous. It fits perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we're incredibly excited to have the cast that we have. The diverse cast that we're showing, and first Black cast like for Pixar. It took way too long, but we're so excited to be a part of it, and the timing of it couldn't be better.
And it's also probably one of our most international casts as well. Like when you see voices like Alice Braga, Richard Ayoade, Wes Studi, one of the most well-known. I mean, just Rachel House from New Zealand, Zenobia Shroff from India. I mean, it's wonderful that this film that's set both, largely in New York City, but also in this place that's supposed to be where we come from, represents everyone in the world in like to me, a more realistic way. Like, I love just that we've created something that looks very, very familiar to me.
Don't worry, you can't crush a soul here. That's what life on Earth is for.
Was there a point in life that you ever felt like a lost soul?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm only about 6 years into my career as a screenwriter. So this is all new to me still. And I think most artists experience long periods of times where you feel lost, where you question, is this ever going to work out for me? Like, am I really meant to be doing this? I've been working at this so hard. So if I were meant to be doing this, wouldn't something have happened by now? These are all real questions that we ask ourselves. That's why I think the idea of the lost soul was so important and potent, because it was important for us to show that you can be lost and come out of it. You can be in this dark mental state and come out of that mental state. And it can be different things that bring you out. A lot of it can just be appreciating what you have that can take you out of that lost state. It's not about achieving that dream goal.
Life is full of possibilities. You just need to know where to look.
My younger years, I was not that person that knew what I wanted to do with my career. So I was very focused on sports for a lot of my life, and I got an injury. And once I got that injury in college, I felt very lost after that because I couldn't play anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I'd say I feel like it will relate, themes will relate also to like younger people just trying to figure out what to do with their lives.
Come on, little souls, get on up here.
I think I've been lost in the opposite way of like being so 150% into filmmaking and animation that my wife's like, wake up, you're missing your children's childhoods, that kind of stuff. So definitely relatable.
I already know everything about Earth, and I don't want anything to do with it.
You're missing out on the joys of life.
Is all this living really worth dying for? You're still alive?
Can you help me get back?
No, wait!
There I am. What are we waiting for?
Wait, not me!
Soul is streaming right now on Disney+. We have to take a quick break right here, but first, here's a look at this week's Studio 5 Snapshot.
Yes, Cassius Marcellus Clay is the new heavyweight champion of the world, boy.
Yes, he is.
And I don't even have a scratch on my face.
We've shared some of the soon-to-be-released film One Night in Miami, but this week we have new images from the story of that incredible night in 1964, when four icons of sports, music, and activism united to celebrate one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Muhammad Ali defeating heavyweight champion Sonny Liston at the Miami Convention Hall. A few weeks ahead of its January 15th release, these images are our Studio 5 Snapshot. Coming up next. a new Christmas album, and an online Christmas special.
Watched you guys special and simply enjoyed every single minute of it. What made you decide that it was a good year to release not only Christmas music, but an entire feature for people?
You'll hear from Brandon Camphor and One Way.
On October 1st, 1961, history was made when a tiny station began transmitting the first signals of the Christian Broadcasting Network.
CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network.
And now, a new era has begun with the all-new CBN News Channel.
Just moments ago, the Iron Dome intercepted an incoming rocket right on the Gaza border.
Administering in this area, spiritual warfare is definitely involved.
A 24/7 news network, bringing you the news you want from a source you can trust.
In Kenya, 40% of the medical services are actually provided by these Christian hospitals.
Let's talk about the economy.
Believers here are joining together to win people to Jesus Christ.
All your favorite shows now in one place. Go to cbnnewschannel.com to find out how to get the CBN News Channel on your TV all day, every day. CBN News. Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
Life. It's meant to be lived fully. Jesus said it. I came to give you life. Life to the fullest. Life in your family. Life in your finances. Life in your body, mind, and spirit. Life in your everyday. At CBN.com, we're taking what Jesus said seriously. We're here to help you discover life. Life. Live it fully. CBN.com.
Welcome back to Studio 5. In keeping with the holiday spirit, we still have some Christmas music to share. This time, it's Brandon Camphor and his group One Way. The project is called Christmas Joy, and Brandon is also here to give us the story behind the music. Watched you guys special and simply enjoyed every single minute of it. What made you decide that it was a good year to release not only Christmas music, but an entire feature for people?
The story kind of really begins at the beginning of this pandemic. You know, my group and I, we haven't been together in terms of an ensemble doing music for the last 5 years. And of course, when the pandemic hit, everything got shut down, including church.
Yeah.
And especially in New York. And what came with that was time. You know, everyone had time all of a sudden because everything was canceled. And me and my group members, the time we all had when the pandemic happened allowed us to come together. Also ignited this sense of maybe we should kind of revisit this part of our lives. And it felt appropriate to do something that shined the spotlight in a place that would give people joy and also a hope to continue on into next year despite what we've seen this year.
The project itself is called Christmas Joy, correct?
Yes, that's the name of the project. When Christmas Joy was written, I gotta be honest, I didn't have this music in mind. I just wrote a song that had the melodies and harmonies I liked. And this was a great one because it brought back that era of my life of music that I love, but I know that is universally loved by everyone. It has that little Jackson 5 kind of groove.
Yeah.
And then of course, if you watch the special, the video that goes along with it, we added a little dance move.
My personal favorite, God of Mercy.
That song that's the first song that my group and I revisited when we came back together. God of Mercy was a song that we recorded 6 years ago. It's the lead single off of what's going to be our forthcoming sophomore full-length project.
Nice.
And it was just perfect to weave into this Christmas season because the message of mercy is, it transcends one particular season.
What's it like for you to minister that song in light of how close of a connection I can clearly see you have to it?
That song resonates to a very personal and delicate space. Oh, I have, all I can say is one other thing that did come with time during this pandemic was the time to even self-reflect. I think hitting that place in my life where I just understood it's God's mercy keeping me alive, and then thinking of how I've lived, not honoring that truth, and then meeting on the other side of those bad decisions more mercy. That it just resonates in a part of my life that has, very much steered the choices I'm making, even doing this Christmas special and all of that. That song is it's just so personal.
Yes, you're always with me.
So, you mentioned that you are at work on another project with your group. So you guys have come back together, and this is sort of launched the second act, if you will.
Yeah, it seems to be inevitable at this point. Our time together has just birthed so much creative inspiration. Because we're 5 years is a long time. We just look at how social media trends evolve over time. But me and my group members, in that 5 years, we've all really experienced life in ways that have just prepared us for this moment. We want to use our gifts and our creativity to be an arrow to point one way, which is the name of our group, and that's to Jesus. And we wrote some songs that, I'm going to tell you the truth, this is some good music. And we're looking around Easter, first quarter of next year to put this out.
BC and One Way's project Christmas Joy is available right now, and you can watch more of their beautiful Christmas special online. Brandon is back with a final word for us in just a little bit.
Life is better with a good night's sleep. Get your free DVD or booklet of Protect Your Sleep today.
I'm Ephraim Graham, and this is Studio 5. Cruise with me as I discover the good things happening in the world of music, sports, television, and movies.
The fact that Ryan Coogler was going to be directing the film, I knew that something special was going to happen.
We'll chat with artists at the forefront of entertainment and explore the connection between popular culture and faith.
I asked my pastor, I said, well, does that mean I'm supposed to be a preacher? He says, well, no, you already have a pulpit.
Watch Studio 5, Wednesday night at 9:30.
Remember for a moment what it was like to be a child. You believed every story you were told. You saw a world full of endless possibilities. What stories will the world's orphaned and at-risk children believe? We believe the Bible tells the only story truly worth believing. We believe that every child should have the opportunity to dream, the chance to take challenges and turn them into possibilities, the chance to stand on the promises of God, to recognize their place in the greatest story ever told. They have their whole lives ahead of them. Theirs is a world of endless possibilities. They are looking for a story to believe. We will tell them that story. Will you join us?
Welcome back to Studio 5. Music fuels this production every week, and this week it's Broadway YouTuber Michael Cortez. He's created a musical masterpiece that's gone viral, and this medley of songs from the iconic musical film Sister Act 2 is what's playing in my ear. Well, on that musical note, we are almost out of time for this edition of Studio 5, so let's take a moment to look ahead, see what's coming up next week.
It's an honor, a joy to get to tell the next chapter of the Crude story.
He's an artist and now a director.
You'll never believe who we just found. Guy?
Dawn?
Guy! Is it really you?
Making his debut with a hit film.
When did the process begin for the sequel? Did it begin 7 years ago?
Joel Crawford joins us with an inside look at the Crudes, A New Age.
Well, we can just sleep a pile right here.
Got it. Solid spot, Dad.
Look, Phil, they sleep in a pile.
We hope you'll join us for that story and so much more come next week. But before we say goodbye this week, we want to return to Brandon Camphor for a final word. He has a word of advice for his younger self.
Never sleep, and you never remember my past. Your love is an ocean, trading my beauty for ashes.
I would just remind myself, like, choosing Jesus really is worth it. Like, it's more satisfying. It's more fulfilling. It's the right choice, and it's the best choice. And I say that, I would like to just explain, I say that because it's not, I believe that as a young child, that's why I chose Christ. But it was the kind of person who they tell you don't touch the stove because it's going to burn you. I was the curious one that's like, I know you're saying it's going to burn me, but I want to know what burn feels like. I would hope I could tell Brandon, don't touch the stove. Believe what the parents told you, okay?
Well, Brandon, you know that's a great final word for all of us in this edition of Studio 5, as well as this week's look at uplifting entertainment. So until next time, make time to uplift someone around you, and then please come right back here and see where Studio 5 takes you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching, and again, happy holidays to you.